Good morning. Good morning to all. So welcome at ICA classes. Today we are going to discuss about inventories. The new chapter. Already we have covered a lot in bank reconciliation statement. So I think that is clear to everyone. But even if there is any doubt, we may take that doubt. Just tell me if there is any doubt in your chapter, which we have already done. Good morning to all of you. Starting with the good morning, obviously. So it's Ananya Kumari who comes first and send good morning. And all of you, good morning. Ayush Ritu from Ayodhya, Swati, Manjunath, Yashraj, Aishwarya, Purva, Yasha, Soumya Arjun, Prashant Behra, Mr. Ansh, Sarvesh, Tanmeet, Pramod, everyone. Good morning. Good morning to all. Illustration number 8 in BRS, just little confusing. Can you please? Yes, no problem at all. I'll discuss it with you. So in BRS, please discuss 3rd and 7 of point of illustration number 6. Good, very good. Good. Good morning. Hope you are doing well. Obviously, Kevin. Now we may do one thing that will be a better option if you think it positive. Actually, number of students are joining late within next 10 or 15 minutes because this is a trend in India that we are not punctual at our timing. Number of persons are not punctual. Everyone, I'm not saying about everyone, but maximum persons are not punctual at their timing. So for their benefit, I may do one thing. I'll take the problems after the break. That will be a better option. After the break means approximately I'll keep 30 minutes as a reserve for the bank reconciliation chapter to take your doubts from you. That will be a better option according to my opinion. First of all, I'll start with the inventories. Then I'll take the doubts approximately 30 minutes before this completion of this lecture. That is, I'll take the doubts preferably after the break. So those who are present, send good morning. It will be a better starting. Why we are saying good morning? Because in every morning we are filled with an energy, and that energy helps you to do each and everything. Because in us, there is energy which is doing everything. Because if that energy comes out of that our body, then our body becomes dead. So always say good morning. Either it is an afternoon or it is an evening. Always say good morning because it will help you to be an energetic person, because sun gives you the energy in the morning, and sun doesn't remain only in the morning. Sun remains with you up to 6 p.m., up to 5 p.m. Nowadays, it is obviously difficult to see sun because nowadays it is too much cold in our North India. I don't know about other areas. December 22 का question solve करके दिखाओ. Welcome, beta. No problem. I'll take your doubts. Let's start with the next chapter. Then after the break, I'll go for the doubts. So start with the inventories. Okay. Inventories, an important chapter from examination point of view. If you see the previous examinations, then your examinations already covered approximately 10 to 20 marks question from this chapter, because this is an important chapter from examination view, and this is also important from the practical point of view. If you will see the practical, then what meant for the inventory meant for the stock, and you know it very well. Without stock, there is nothing in accounting. If you doesn't know about the stock, because it is a part of your trading account, without this you can't calculate the GP, without this you can't calculate the NP, because there's an opening stock and closing stock. I'm talking about both. And then we are going for the balance sheet. In balance sheet, it is a major part. You will see there's a closing stock in our current assets. So closing stock or the stock is an important part in our financial statements. Due to that reason, it is always assumed as a important part, and many other points are there which we'll discuss with the passage of time. Let's start with that. What is the meaning of inventory? It is an asset, very simple, which has been held for sale. Now, there are two types of assets. One, which are not held for sale. Those are named as fixed assets, or those are named as investments. But those which are kept for the purpose of sale, that is for the purpose of trading, for the purpose of help in manufacturing, are named as inventories, are not named as fixed assets or investments. They are named as inventories or stock. So these are those items, those goods in which we trade. Or second point, which is an important part, these are those items which are held for the purpose of process of production for such sale, which helps us in process of production. Now, what is the process of production? We may take an example later on, then you can better understand. Otherwise, it is a simple meaning. It has a simple meaning that which helps us to produce that particular item in which we deal. Like if we are dealing in sweaters, like now a time it is cold, so when in winter we are using sweaters, we know that it is packed in an envelope. So that envelope is also a part of process of production. We are using many other items like sticker we are placing on that particular item. That sticker is also a process of production. Many things are there. And third, for consumption in the production of goods or services for sale, including maintenance, supplies, and consumers other than machinery, spares, services, equipment, and standby equipment. Let's understand it by word. That will be a better option. Just a moment. Just a moment. Just a moment. Actually, computer is hanged. I'm just doing it so that it can be done in a proper manner. I'm a little late. Be nimble. No problem. We have just started. There's no problem. We have just started. Now it's okay. So come to the point. Good morning, sir. Hope you are doing well. Unsold goods. Very good. Capital asset. It is not a capital asset. Capital asset are those assets which are basically named as fixed assets or investments. Those which are not used for the purpose of routine are named as revenues or current assets. So inventory is a part of our current asset. Let it be very much clear. Yeah, we have started with this, that inventory is a asset which is not fixed asset or an investment. It is basically an asset which is kept, which is held for the sale in ordinary course of business. Second is in the process of production, and third is for consumption in the production of goods or services. So that we have discussed. Okay. minor contradictory problem is there. Yes. Yes, very good. So we are talking about this thing, that this is a item which is kept for the purpose of sale in the ordinary course of business. Ordinary course of business का मतलब क्या होता है? इसका मतलब होता है जो हम लोग रूटीन में सेल कर रहे हैं. तो रूटीन में हम लोग क्या सेल करते हैं, आप सभी को पता है कि रूटीन में हम लोग जो गुड्स सेल करते हैं वो उन गुड्स की बात करते हैं जिसमें हम व्यापार कर रहे हैं, जिसमें हम बिजनेस कर रहे हैं. सो इट इंक्लूड दोज आइटम्स इन विच वी ट्रेड. Then in the process of production, that means for those items which are held in the process of production for such sale, means which helps us to produce those goods, which are kept in the process of production for such sale, that means for which helps us to produce those goods. And third is for consumption in the production of goods or for services for sale, including maintenance, supplies, consumable other than machinery, spare, service equipment and standby equipment. So starting with the first word, for consumption in the production. So consumption का मतलब क्या होता है? Consumption meant for which are consumables. So these are also named as consumables, like oil, grease. Let's come to the point. If I am running a factory, let's understand with an example of a factory. If we are running a factory, in that factory what happens? We are using various items for the purpose of production. Like if I am manufacturing sweaters, then how sweater is manufactured? Everyone knows about the process of manufacturing of sweaters, because first of all we need cloth. But in these cases, in Ludhiana or in South India, there are some hubs of sweaters where sweater is manufactured. I would like to tell their actual process. Their actual process is somehow different. They are not going for clothes even. They have yarn with them. Then that yarn is converted into cloth first. Then that cloth is gone for the process of production of that sweater, conversion into sweater. So it includes, first of all, when yarn is purchased, then many expenses are incurred for purchasing that yarn, because there are many expenses like freight. Freight is not normally a routine expense. Carriage is a routine expense. So we are incurring carriage, cartage, like that. Loading, unloading expenses are there. So these expenses are not part of the inventory, but these are basically direct expenses. And then when cloth is to be manufactured, this yarn is put into some machines. Those machines convert this yarn into cloth. So for that purpose, they have various additional expenses, like those machines need needles. Needles meant for the regular consumable items which are used in the process of production of sweaters. Then oil, I have already mentioned you. Grease, I have already mentioned you. So there are such like many expenses which are incurred for this purpose. So these are named as maintenance, supplies, or even after manufacturing clothes, they will have to convert into sweaters. So for that, they need thread for stitching of those clothes, because obviously it is to be cutted. Then it is to be when it is cutted, there are some marks like marker which is used. Marker I can say, कुछ मार्कर यूज होते हैं उसमें, जिससे हम लोग निशान वगैरह लगाते हैं सारा, जहां से कटिंग करनी है, तो मार्कर्स वगैरह यूज होते हैं. दीज आर कंज्यूमेबल्स. सो दिस विल आल्सो बिकम पार्ट ऑफ द item of inventory. Then thread is used. This is also a part of inventory. Consumable, I have already mentioned you. These are all consumables, I can say even. So these all become part of manufacturing. Then when it is manufactured, then it is to be pressed and packed. It has gone for the process of pressing and packing. So when it is packed in an envelope. That polythene, that envelope, that particular bag is basically a part of your inventory. So there are various types of items which are used in the process of production. These all becomes part of the inventory. So we can't say that our sweater is manufactured, then sweater is a part of manufacturing, is an inventory only. Even those items which are kept with us, which helps us for the purpose of production of those goods, all are the part of inventory, but some are not part of inventory. So what are those items? Let's understand that beta. कौन सी आइटम्स इन्वेंट्री नहीं होती वो हमें समझना है. अब उसके लिए देखो उसने बताया हुआ है he has already mentioned you machinery spares. So these machinery spares, what is machinery spares? Spare part of machineries. Like motor is a spare part of machinery. So if there is a motor, then that motor is not a part of inventory. That motor is not a part of inventory. Let it be very much clear. Don't assume that the motor is also a spare part of inventory. So motor हो गई या फिर spare parts like nuts, bolts of the machinery which is used for the purpose of production. Machineries are also not the machinery is also what machinery is a fixed asset. It is not a part of, even it is used for the purpose of manufacturing, but it is not a part of inventory. So machinery and machinery spare parts are not used for this purpose. But belts, on machinery we are using belts. What is belt? Do you know? Belt which is running on the motor. This is routine. This is consumed in routine on machinery. Needles are also used in routine, but motors are not used in routine. So motors are not part of inventory, but spare parts are also not used in manufacturing. But there are some particular items which are used for the purpose of production in routine, like I am saying belt, needles. These are the part of inventory. Okay. Sir, if balance as per passbook, let's come to the बेटा जो प्रॉब्लम्स है ना आपकी बीआरएस की वो मैं ब्रेक के बाद लूंगा. ओके. लाइक रॉ मटेरियल, ऑब्वियसली वूल. वेरी गुड, वेरी गुड. Belt of missile. I missed last lecture. Can I continue with? Yes, beta. Today is our new lecture. This lecture is on inventory, so it has no relationship with the bank reconciliation statement. So there's no worry. You can easily go for this lecture. Even any student, if missed any lecture, they may go for the next lecture because previous lecture is available with you in recorded format. So there's no problem at all. You can go for the next lecture and correlate it with the previous lecture later on after seeing that lecture, or you may see that lecture before joining this lecture in the morning. You may come early in the morning and take that lecture because that is available with you in recorded format, and then you may come to this lecture. There's no worry. Every student must keep it into your mind. There's no worry. You may join anytime. So inventories will also include maintenance supplies, consumable, loose tools, and spare parts. Now, which spare part is included and which is not to be included, that is the main important part. Spare parts, like I have already mentioned you, motors are not included. Belts are included. So how to differentiate, how to understand this thing? Those which are used with production in routine are included. Now that means for what? कि जब हम लोग प्रोडक्शन कर रहे हैं, प्रोडक्शन करते करते जो रूटीन में हमारा खराब होता जा रहा है, एक रूटीन है कि वो खराब होना ही होना है. एक चीज होती है जो बाई चांस खराब हो जाती है, अचानक खराब हो जाती है. नहीं, एक चीज होती है जो हमें पता है कि यार ये तो थोड़ी सी प्रोडक्शन के बाद खराब होना ही होना है, इसकी तो रूटीन है, ये तो कंजम्पशन का पार्ट है मेरे. तो जो कंजम्पशन का पार्ट है उसको आपने इन्वेंट्री में लेना है, जो कंजम्पशन का पार्ट नहीं है उसको इन्वेंट्री में नहीं लेना. मैं आपको फिक्स्ड भी बता दूंगा, इसमें कोई वरी वाली बात नहीं है. मैं आपको कंफर्म्ड बता दूंगा कि ये लेने और ये नहीं लेने. सो देयर इज नो वरी. ओके. It do not include spare parts, service equipments and standby equipments. So यहाँ पर ये बात मैंने क्लियर करी है, लूज टूल्स एंड स्पेयर पार्ट्स कुछ लेने हैं और कुछ नहीं लेने. So that I have already made you clear. It do not include maximum spare parts, service equipments. Service equipment means for like you are using any type of equipments for the purpose of production. So that will not be standby equipment. Number of times we have kept some equipment on standby. Equipment is just like machinery. Another name of machinery is equipment. So machinery is already mentioned to you that it is a part of fixed asset, so it will not be included. Standby equipment means we have kept a machinery on standby. Like I have kept a motor on standby, that I've already mentioned you. I have a motor kept on standby, which will be replaced whenever it is there is a problem. So that will not be included, which can be used only in connection with an item of fixed asset. The main example is this can be used in it with an item of fixed asset only, and whose use is expected to be irregular, which is not of a regular use. Such machinery spare parts are generally accounted for as fixed asset. I have already taken an example, or let it be very clear to you that belt, needles, oil, greasing, these are our regular consumables used in the machinery. So these are the part of your inventory. But those which are not the spare regular use items, like I have already mentioned you, motors, nuts, bolts, of a specific machine, if it is a general nut bolt, then it will be used as a inventory. General nut bolt which is not of a specific use, छोटे छोटे nut bolt washers वगैरह हमने रखी होती हैं, तो वो यूज हो रही है, तो उसको हम लोग ले सकते हैं इन्वेंट्री में, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. बट जो स्पेसिफिक किसी मशीनरी का पार्ट है, किसी पर्टिकुलर फिक्स एसेट का पार्ट है, तो उसको हम लोग नहीं लेना. दैट इट मींस फॉर एग्जैक्टली सृष्टि, राइट? देयर इज नो प्रॉब्लम. Mastan, you will have to consult IC for that purpose. Will also be in the list. Okay, for example, printer and ink. Yeah, we are coming to the second part, like in case of offices, in case of trading units, what it is. If we'll talk about trading units where manufacturing is not there, they have also with them inventory, but that inventory is only finished goods. Their inventory is not printer, ink, etc. But if you are a professional and providing services to people, in that case ink may be used as a inventory. But even then it is not used as an inventory, if you will say, because inventory is basically the item which is used for the purpose of manufacturing. So this is not a part of manufacturing. So ink is not a right answer for this. We can say frequently consumed spare parts are a part of inventory. Yes, sir, if motor is destroyed, then it will be inventory. No, beta. Motor. If motor is destroyed, then motor is basically a part of fixed asset. Loose tools meant for those tools like प्लास, पेचकस. अगर आप लोगों को ये लैंग्वेज समझ लगती है, मुझे इसकी अब इंग्लिश में तो नहीं पता एग्जैक्टली क्या कहते हैं. लूज टूल्स meant for those instruments which are used for the purpose of working in routine, which are our tool kit, जिसे हम कहते हैं. We are calling it as a tool kit also, like प्लास, पेचकस, चाबी वगैरह. We are calling it like this. So that is a part. If you will go to a scooter mechanic, if you will go to a car mechanic, then even you will see that if you have a scooter or car with you, then you have a kit with you in which various where tools are given to you. Those are called loose tools, beta. I think this is clear, because this is a better example. So what are the types of inventories? Let's understand this. There are two types of businesses which we are dealing normally. One is manufacturing concern, second is trading concern. So both have different type of inventories with them. Talking about manufacturing, first of all, there is a raw material. What is raw material? Raw material meant for the material which is used in the process of production, which is the actual raw material of that particular item. For sweaters, yarn is a raw material. For t-shirts or for ladies cardigan, cloth is also a raw material. Means the first item which is from where we have started the process of production, that first item is our raw material. Like for food grain companies, food grain is like there are many companies which are processing food items like juices. Many companies are producing juices, sauces, or like pickles. So they have food grain as a food grain means जो वो अनाज को use करते हैं, they have food grain with them as a raw material. So it all depends, it varies from business to business, but raw material means for the material which is used in the process of production as a basic material, as a starting material. Second is work in progress. When that material is processed partially and it is not yet completed in full, it is not fully finished, then it is named as work in progress. जब तक वो सामान पूरी तरह तैयार नहीं हो जाता, तब तक वो वर्क इन प्रोग्रेस में रहता है. थर्ड इज एन इंपॉर्टेंट फिनिश्ड गुड्स. व्हेन द आइटम इज प्रोड्यूस्ड properly, then it is called finished goods. Like I'm talking about sweater. Sweater, if you are manufacturing sweater, then sweater is a finished goods. If you are manufacturing ladies cardigan, ladies t-shirt, or gents t-shirt, or pants, or the pickles, or sauces, or whatever I have mentioned you. So whatever item you are producing, when that item is fully furnished, fully finished, then it is called finished goods. And when it is in the progress, it is not fully completed, then it is called work in progress. Then the most important item which I have discussed with you, stores and spares. So this is those items like oil, greasing, packing material, yarn, thread, yeah, not yarn, thread, which is used for the purpose of stitching of clothes. If you are manufacturing clothes, then ready-made garments, if you are manufacturing. So for manufacturing of garments, you should have to go for the clothes first. From that clothes, you are cutting it, then stitching it. For stitching, you are using what? You are using thread. So that thread is a part of stores. Oil, grease, belt, all that is a part of stores. Packing material already mentioned to you. So these are all various types of inventories available with you, stocks available with you. In case of trading concern, there is only one stock, that is in which we are trading. These are called finished goods, also called finished goods. So if they are also purchasing it and then repacking it, then they may have two types of stock or even three types of stock. So it all depends, because if they are also doing some partial manufacturing, like if you will see cycle sellers, what they are doing, those cycles resellers are purchasing cycles in a unassembled form, then they are assembling it and then manufacturing a cycle. So that is not a big part of process of manufacturing, that is a very small process of manufacturing, but even then they have raw material as a unassembled cycled parts, and then they have finished cycles, finished, that is proper cycles. So they have two types of stock. It all depends. If you are manufacturing goods, if you are purchasing goods in you may say bulk, and in not in a proper packed system, and later on you are making packing of that, obviously in that case there are two steps. So they can be assumed as trader, they can be assumed as manufacturer and trader both also, there's no problem. So is that clear? Daily material used in it is inventory, exactly right. Hammer, screw, drivers are loose tools, exactly. Sir, anything which is used in production are all called inventories, exactly. Wool is not raw material, wool is a raw material, beta. Wool is a raw material. If you are using it as any item can be raw material, if you are using it for the purpose of your production and converting into some other item. Oil seeds, raw material are edible oils, exactly, beta. For manufacturing edible oils, oil seeds are raw material, exactly. Exactly. Sir, from raw material to finished goods are called production, are not called inventories, are called production. Scissors used for cutting are they inventory? Yeah, scissors are also part of loose tools and they can be named as inventory. Which category will yarn come in? Raw material, beta. Tanmeet, raw material. Okay. Proper valuation of inventory is must, because this is a requirement of our accounting. One thing, because if you are interested for the purpose of fulfilling all the requirements of accounting, that is why we are doing accounting, for the purpose of calculating our profit or loss properly, for the purpose of fulfilling government requirements. So there are many things for which we are calculating inventory. So inventory is mandatory to be calculated. So their valuation is also very important. If the value is wrong, obviously your profit will be wrong, your current asset situation will be wrong, everything will be a problem. So for the authenticity, means for the proper authenticity of financial statement, it is mandatory. Now, whenever you are calculating, you must have to see this thing. With this, you will be able to understand why inventory is so important. Because when we are calculating cost of goods sold, then it is calculated as opening inventory, that is opening stock, plus purchases, plus direct expenses, minus closing inventory. Because you are doing each and everything for the purpose of calculating your profit. So the main part is the profit. If you are interested to calculate profit, you should have to calculate COGS, because to calculate GP, we have to do sale minus COGS. So GP can be calculated only by this formula. So if you are interested to calculate GP, then obviously you need COGS. To calculate COGS, what you have to do? You need opening stock. So value of stock is very important. If your opening stock is 10 lakh, purchases are 1 crores, direct expenses are 0, closing inventory is 8 lakhs, then COGS will be 1 crore 2 lakhs. But in case you have taken it wrongly as 15 lakhs, then what will happen? It will be 10 lakh plus 1 crore minus 15 lakhs. So the value will be 95 lakhs. So COGS will be completely changed if you will calculate it wrongly. So wrong calculation of stock will completely change your profit of this year as well as of the next year. See, in the next year, what will happen? Because yahi stock next year mein jayega. This closing stock will become opening stock of next year. So in the next year, your stock should be 8 lakh, but you have taken it 15 lakh. So wrong valuation of stock will affect your profit of next year also. Because in next year, like this year you have taken opening stock as 10 lakh. Next year, instead of 8 lakh, you have taken it at 15 lakh. So your profit will reduce with 7 lakh. I'll discuss it later. See, it is very much clear that if you will overvalue closing stock, overvalue, instead of 8 you have taken 15 lakh. If you will overvalue your closing stock, what will happen? Your COGS will increase or decrease. COGS will decrease, sorry. Your COGS will decrease. And see, if COGS will decrease, what will happen? Your GP will reduce or increase. GP will increase, because if sale is 1.5 crores, 1.50 crore, I can say, and COGS is 1 crore 2 lakhs, then it is 48 lakhs. Okay. It is 48 lakh. But if it is taken wrongly, as 95 lakhs, then what will happen? 1 crore 50 lakh minus 95 lakhs. So it will be 55 lakhs. So GP will increase, profit will increase. Overvaluation of closing stock will decrease COGS and increase our GP oblique NP. So it will have a great impact on each and everything. Let it be very much clear. Fish seed is, I doesn't know about fish seeds in pisciculture. You may better know that, because maybe you are of this line. Stores and spares not understood. Stores and spares beta meant for all the items which I have discussed, like packing material used for the purpose of packing of items, like oil, greasing. Oil is used for in machinery for its smooth running of machinery. Any additional material which is used but which is not giving its presentation in that item, which is used but it is not present in that item, like which are used for smooth running of machinery, which is used for the purpose of production. Basically, it is it is used for the purpose of smooth running of machinery. These are normally consumed in machinery, which is used for the purpose of production. So those are called consumables or stores, and those are called stores and spares. Material not used in daily basis is not inventory. Depends beta. What is meant by GP, sir? GP means for gross profit beta. COGS full name, cost of goods sold beta. Cost of goods sold. Pesty ideas are farmers is inventory. Pesticides for farmer is inventory. Yeah, for farmers, pesticide is a inventory. It is basically a part of their item. Irregular use of items is depends beta. It all depends. You should have to check it that what it is exactly. So irregular uses of items, like which are used on in rare case only, and which are the part of specific machinery, are normally assumed as a part of fixed asset, not the part of inventory. Like I have already mentioned you that I am running a machinery which is used for the purpose of production, and there are some spare parts of that machinery which I have with me, which I have kept with me as a reserve, because in case those parts, I know that these parts may be in a problem, may create a problem at any time. So I have kept that in reserve. I have kept a machinery in reserve. So these machinery, these spare parts of those machineries are basically the part of fixed asset, not the part of inventory. So that I am calling it irregular use. Beta COGS, everyone must understand it is cost of goods sold, because I assume that you are already done +1 commerce. So are you not, have you not done +1 commerce? If you doesn't know about fixed asset, that means for you have not taken previous lectures of our ICI, because these lectures are started many days ago. Chapter number 1 and 2 must be done to know about fixed assets, cost of goods sold, and gross profit, etc., because these chapters are important for this point. So I can't go for those in detail, because these are very important for you to understand each and everything. Chapter number 1, unit number 1 will define you regarding all the definitions. No, definitions are not given in chapter number 1. Yes, definitions are not maybe given. I am science background student. Okay, very big problem. If you all, those students which are not from commerce background will suffer from this problem. So they may do one thing, they must have to go for the basic classes of +1, you know, from somewhere. Basic classes of +1, that will be a better option, because without this you are unable to do it, no, in a proper way. How I can help you? Basic classes for accounting you may take from somewhere, na, only then you can better understand it better. You will suffer from this problem. Those who are from science background must go for the basic classes, otherwise it will not be able to, you will not be able to clear, because there are many basic things which are normally required for the purpose of okay, many students are from science background. Very good, very good. क्या किया जा सकता है आपके लिए? चलो 10+1 commerce, 10+1 commerce, in that there is a accounting subject. I recommend you to go for those classes, or you must have that book with you so that you can understand it in better way. A student says that the definitions are given in chapter number 1, unit number 3, which is not, according to my opinion, this is not given, but so those which are fixed assets are those assets which are fixed assets are those assets which are owned by us, first of all, owned by the business. Second, which are helpful in production or doing business. Means whatever business we are doing, in that whatever assets, whatever what is an asset? Asset is anything owned by us is our asset. What is a fixed asset? Which is not, which is fixed at one place, which is not taken from one place to other place. That is called fixed asset. But here the definition of fixed asset also includes which helps us to do production or in doing business. Like for a chartered accountant, computer is a fixed asset. For a businessman, building is a fixed asset. Machinery is a fixed asset. Whatever is owned by him, first of all, it must be owned by him. Second, it is used for the purpose of production, or it will be help, it is helpful in doing business. All that is our fixed head. So वही ना, आप लोगों की क्वेश्चंस तो बड़े अच्छे अच्छे आएंगे, बट अब चैप्टर से आगे निकल जाएंगे फिर हम. सर फॉर रियल एस्टेट एजेंट is property inventory? Yes, exactly. For real estate agent which is dealing in buildings, building is an inventory for him. Exactly. Unit 3 chapter number 1 have all the definitions beta. So a student has sent me and it is confirmed now because number of students are recommending it. You should have to go for chapter number 1, unit number 3, and special lectures of this are also available. This is a batch 6th of CA Foundation. So you may have to go to the playlists or videos on ICA CA tube channel, or you may go for your app, whatever app of BOS you are using. In that, previous videos are available. So you will have to see chapter number 1, unit number 3 video. In that, you will be able to understand the concept of all these definitions beta. So you will be able to understand. Lectures regarding the definitions and terms are on YouTube. That is available. So you need not to worry. Just see those lectures before coming to me in the next lecture. It will be beneficial for you. So you should be punctual with the lectures. Those who are missing the lecture are always become a sufferer ना. बेटा नेक्स्ट चैप्टर नहीं समझ लगते होते जब तक हम पिछले चैप्टर्स को नहीं करते. फॉर अंडरस्टैंडिंग द नेक्स्ट चैप्टर यू शुड हैव टू सी प्रीवियस लेक्चर्स आल्सो. ऐसा थोड़ा होता है कि हम लोग एक लेक्चर में लगाने आ गए, दूसरे में हम नहीं लगाने आए. तो डेफिनेशन उन्हीं को नहीं आती होंगी जिन्होंने पिछले लेक्चर ही नहीं लगाए. एंड आई एम रियली हर्टेड. ये तो बात गलत है कि आप लोग अभी लेक्चर लगाने आए हो तो पहले आपने लेक्चर ही नहीं लगाए. अगर आपने नहीं लगाए तो यू शुड हैव टू गो एंड गेट दोज लेक्चर्स. अगर आप आराम से बैठ जाओगे तो देखो आप 2 दिनों में सारे लेक्चर्स लगा सकते हो. बिकॉज कितने लेक्चर हुए होंगे टिल नाउ? ओनली फ्यू लेक्चर्स हैव गॉन. Approximately 8 to 10 lectures have gone. So you may go for those 8 to 10 lectures by sitting properly for 2 hours for every lecture. After 2 hours of a lecture, you should have to take a break of 1 hour. Again, go for the 2 hours lecture, take a break of 1 hour, and then again go for the 2 hours lecture. See all the lectures. You will be able to understand each and everything. So inventory should be generally valued at lower of cost or NRV, which is the most important point which you have to keep it into your mind for your lifetime. These are all practical things which we are discussing. So whenever we have to value the inventory, value means calculation of the amount of inventory. Like कि भैया मैंने कितने का परचेज करा इस इन्वेंट्री को, कैलकुलेट कैसे करना आई विल टेल यू. देयर इज नो प्रॉब्लम. हाउ टू कैलकुलेट आई विल टेल यू. देयर इज नो प्रॉब्लम. बट द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग इज कैलकुलेट इट्स कॉस्ट, कैलकुलेट्स net realizable value. What it is we will discuss. You have to take lower of these two as a value of inventory in your books of accounts. In your books of accounts. So in simple words, what meant for cost is cost include cost of purchase and other cost. Purchasing of that item, whatever amount you have incurred for purchasing those items is named as cost of purchase. And what is other cost? Any other expenses incurred for purchasing or manufacturing or conversion of those goods. So take the definition. What is cost of purchase beta? It include duties. It include purchase price. If we have purchased yarn or cloth for the manufacturing of sweaters, then whatever the cost of that yarn, including duties and taxes other than those subsequently recoverable by the enterprise from the taxing authority. Now I have gone and purchased yarn for 10 lakhs during the particular period. On that 5% GST is there. So I have paid GST worth rupees 50,000 on it. I have purchased it for 10 lakh 50,000. Now those who are able to understand GST, very good. Those who are not able to understand GST, I will like to help them. Now what will happen? What is GST? GST is a tax paid by us on purchases and sales. GST is what? It is an indirect tax, goods and service tax. So I paid rupees 50,000 to the person from whom I have purchased. I have purchased this yarn from various persons. Total yarn purchases are 10 lakh 50,000. It include 10 lakh plus 50,000. So this 50,000 of GST will be recovered from government. When I will sell those goods. जब मैं इन गुड्स को बेचूंगा तो ये मैं रिकवर कर लूंगा, ये 50,000 मुझे रिकवर हो जाएगा. So ये 50,000, this 50,000 will not be taken as a part of the cost of purchase. So cost of purchase is 10 lakhs. GST will not be taken for the purpose of calculating cost of purchase. That I am saying. If this tax is not refundable, returnable, recoverable by me, then I will take it as a cost of purchase. Then I will take 10 lakh 50,000. Here GST is there. If I have paid GST on any goods purchased by me, any raw material, any stores, any type of item which is used for the purpose of production, even it is, if I have purchased it in, if I have incurred it for the purchase of capital assets, it is recoverable. So GST is recoverable from every point of view. जीएसटी सारा रिकवरेबल है, रिफंड हो जाता है, एडजस्ट हो जाता है, कुछ ना कुछ हो जाता है, उसका मतलब मिल जाता है वापसी हमें. तो जीएसटी की कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. ये जीएसटी हमारी कॉस्ट का पार्ट कभी नहीं बनेगा. हमारी कॉस्ट का पार्ट क्या बनेगा? जो यार्न की कॉस्ट है. फ्रेट इनवर्ड, दिस विल बिकम पार्ट ऑफ अवर कॉस्ट ऑफ परचेज. आपने फ्रेट खर्च किया, ये रॉ मटेरियल नहीं है, बट इवन देन इट विल बिकम पार्ट ऑफ द कॉस्ट ऑफ परचेज. ये फिनिश्ड गुड्स नहीं है. आपने गुड्स मंगवाई तो रास्ते में ट्रेन का किराया पे कर दिया, शिप का किराया पे कर दिया. तो इंपोर्ट किया तो शिप का किराया पे किया, दूसरी स्टेट से मंगाया तो ट्रेन का किराया पे किया. उसको कहते हैं फ्रेट. ट्रेन का जो किराया पे किया, फ्रेट जो पे किया, फ्रेट हमारी कॉस्ट में ऐड हो जाएगा आइटम की कॉस्ट में. तो अगर मैंने 15,000 रुपए फ्रेट पे किया है तो फ्रेट भी मैं ऐड कर दूंगा बेटा. फ्रेट ऑटोमेटिकली become part of the cost of inventory, that is raw material or finished goods, whatever I am calculating, and other expenditure directly attributable to the acquisition. Any expenses incurred for the purpose of acquisition, it includes any item paid to the seller whomsoever is selling goods to us, but it is reduced by any discount or rebate given by the seller. Yes, if any rebate or discount is given by the seller, that will be reduced automatically. Let's take an example. I am purchasing garments and selling it. I am a trader. So what trader is doing? Trader is purchasing garments. तो मैंने रेडीमेड गारमेंट्स परचेज कर लिए. तो ये रेडीमेड गारमेंट्स मैंने परचेज किए हैं 10 लाख के. इस पे जीएसटी लगा है मेरा 50,000 रुपीज. इस पे मेरा कैरेज एक्सपेंस आया है 2,000 रुपीज. इस पे मेरा लोडिंग अनलोडिंग का खर्चा आया है. लोडिंग करवाई मैंने, अनलोडिंग करी 1,000 रुपीज. इस पे मैंने फ्रेट पे किया है, क्योंकि ये गुड्स मैंने मंगवाई है मान लो दूसरी स्टेट से, तो फ्रेट भी पे कर दिया मैंने 6,000 रुपीज. ठीक हो गया. Then in that case, let's understand it. I have paid GST 50,000, carriage 2,000, loading unloading 1,000, and freight 6,000 for purchasing an item. I am a trader. So out of this, which item will become cost of purchase and which will not become cost of purchase? Let's understand it. It will become cost of purchase. Cost of purchase. 10 lakh will become cost of purchase. 50,000 will not become cost of purchase. Carriage will become cost of purchase. Loading unloading will become cost of purchase. Freight will become cost of purchase. So my cost of purchase is here. In playlist, some lectures are not available. Okay, it is for this help you may call the helpline number of BOS. It will be more helpful for you, or you may see it in our previous playlists, because there are many playlists available with us. If you are not able to get it on playlist for a sixth, this is a batch 6th, you may go for batch 5th, you may go for batch 4, you may go for batch 3, because in every batch these lectures are available. So difference between direct and indirect expenses. Direct expenses are those expenses which are incurred directly for manufacturing or production of goods in which we deal. Indirect, all other expenses which are revenue are indirect. First of all, an expense must be a revenue expense. So what is a revenue expense? For that, you should have to go for the chapter number 2, because in chapter number 2, capital and revenue expenses are already made clear to you. So let it be very much clear. Whatever the revenue expenses are there, those are divided into two parts: direct and indirect. Expenses are those which are directly related to manufacturing or production. First of all, it must be revenue, and then it should be directly related to manufacturing of production. Like if we have purchased raw material, then whatever expenses are incurred for purchasing that material is direct. If we are manufacturing, then in case whatever expenses are incurred for the purpose of manufacturing are direct. Means purchasing of raw material, manufacturing of goods, like for manufacturing of goods we are incurring many expenses, like electricity is used, power is used. In that case, wages are paid to the laborers, and already discussed many other items which are used for the purpose of production, like I'm talking about packing, etc. So these are direct. Packing expenses, storage, stores, spares, all these are direct expenses. Freight, carriage, cartage, these are direct expenses. This is a direct expense, this is a direct expense, this is a direct expense. Okay, what are the indirect expenses? Like printing, stationery, postage, telegram, advertisement, rent, salaries. These are all indirect expenses which are not directly related to production, are indirect. GST is an indirect tax, exactly, beta. Here it is not required to be discussed what is CGST and SGST. There's no worry. When GST is not recoverable, then it is included in cost of goods sold. Exactly right. But such thing doesn't happen normally. In case of cold storage goods, the electricity charges are direct expense. Sir, but what we pay GST for the profit we get from our sales, is this cost added to cost of purchase or indirect tax? It will not be added to cost of purchase, as already mentioned that GST is fully recoverable. So when we are selling goods, then whatever GST we are receiving on sale of goods will also not become part of your sale. You should have to understand this thing, that and there's an entry for a GST which should be known to every student. When we are purchasing goods, then the entry is purchase account debit 10 lakh. GST, I'm not bifurcating it between CGST and SGST and IGST. So I'm just taking a common name, that is GST, just to make it easy to creditor. So it is not a part of your purchase. It is already kept out of that. When you are selling goods, so entry is very simple: debtor account debit. Obviously, that creditor oblique bank be there, one and the same thing. Debtor account debit to sale to GST. So if we are selling goods for rupees 15 lakhs and collecting GST of 75,000, then here it will be 15 lakhs 75,000. Okay, 15 lakh and 75,000. So it will not become part of sale also. So GST not a part, is not included anywhere. So screen where you are writing is not visible. Okay. Now is it visible? Now is that visible? Reply. सर विजिबल है, स्क्रीन देखना. Yes, very good. So when we are purchasing goods, enter a simple purchase account debit, GST account debit to creditor. That means for in purchases we are not adding GST. When we are making entry of sale, we are passing an entry debtor account debit to sale to GST. Even in sale, GST is not included. So GST will not be included in purchase or sale. Let it be very much clear. I'm keeping it simple. I'm using the word GST, not CGST, SGST, or IGST, because in that case it will become more vast. So is that clear? चलो अब तक समझ लगा सारा कुछ. चलो बताओ, is that clear? You may note it down with you. लिख भी लो. You are not audible, you are readable, Ashutosh, because I can read only, I can't listen you. Okay, so now I think this is clear to everyone. Direct expenses and indirect expenses. Godown rent is a indirect expense. But if godown is used for the purpose of keeping goods for before the production, then it will be treated as a, it is mandatory to be kept in reserve, or there is some such circumstances, and godown rent may be direct. But otherwise, whenever we are keeping manufactured goods, finished goods into the godown, then it is an indirect expense. If the head was not visible, then how will the understanding come? Please once more. If the head was not visible, then how will the understanding come? Isha Pandit, explain once more. Which head was not available, visible? Isha Pandit doesn't know what you are saying. Please explain this. Okay. So cost of conversion. Second thing is, because I have already mentioned you that it includes cost of purchase and cost of other cost. Other cost include cost of conversion. Cost of conversion means for all expenses incurred directly for the purpose of converting these goods from raw material to finished goods. So all the expenses incurred for this purpose, starting from the stage of raw material to the stage of finished goods. Whatever expenses are incurred, it includes direct labor, it includes systematic allocation of fixed and variable overheads. Now, what is overhead? Overhead are those expenses. These are also named as expenses. So expenses are divided into two parts: fixed, variable. So we have to divide it into two parts. One is direct and indirect. Okay. So direct expenses and indirect expenses. So direct expenses are those which are related to factory, and indirect are those which are related to showroom. Direct are those which are incurred in production. Indirect are those which are incurred in sale. Okay. So any expense is an overhead. Let it be very much clear. Any expense. Now we have to divide it into two parts: fixed and variable. This is another way of allocating. Like one allocation is direct and indirect expenses. One another allocation of expenses are there, that is fixed and variable. Fixed expenses are those expenses which remains fixed irrespective of the production or sale. Like rent is a fixed expense. Salary are the fixed expenses. So there are such type of expenses which remain fixed in nature, and variable which varies with production. Varies with production or sale. So out of these, you will have to take only those expenses which are related to production. Those which are related to sale will not be taken into consideration because those will be treated as indirect. In cost of conversion, we will take direct, fixed, and variable expenses. One and the same thing, we have already done it. This is another way of naming the expenses, calling the expenses. ये आपकी बुक में दिया हुआ था, इसीलिए मैंने यहाँ पर लिख दिया ताकि आपको मैं समझा पाऊं. अदरवाइज इससे कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ने वाला, पहले मैं डिस्कस कर चुका हूं. Direct expenses will become part of your cost of production. Indirect will not become part of cost of production. So I have defined it accordingly also. Fixed, which remain fixed irrespective of change in sale or production. Variable, which varies with the production or sale. Now, if it include direct expenses, which is already discussed, which are related to production or factory, will be taken into cost of conversion, and indirect are those which are related to showroom, selling place, sales, will be taken in as an indirect expense. What you wrote when the screen was not shared? No, that I have shown you, beta. Isha, I have shown you whatever I have written because I have not keep anything in blank. Like this was written when एक तो ये लिखा था मैंने, I have written this one. एक मैंने बताया आपको, एक ये लिखा था. ये दोनों मैंने आपको शो कर दिए थे. एक तो जनरल एंट्रीज लिखी थी मैंने. Visa Pandit says when the time you explain the direct and indirect time you are writing was no, so she says it's not understood. Can you please explain once again? वीजा पंडित, ईशा पंडित है नाम उसका, वीजा नहीं है. चलो कोई बात नहीं प्रमोद जी, I have shown it. All that I have shown. So this is, I think this is clear ना? See here it is. ये सारा मैंने क्लियर कर दिया. ये सारा लिखा था मैंने. ठीक है, ये तो मुझे लगता है मैंने बता दिया था आपको बेसिक क्लासेस वाला. ये आपको मैंने दिखा दिया. एंट्रीज आप लोगों ने नोट करनी थी, कर ली होंगी सभी ने, मैंने पूछा भी था. एक ये था, ये मैंने बता दिया कि डायरेक्ट फॉर मैन्युफैक्चरिंग और प्रोडक्शन इन विच वी डील. ओके, सो ऑल एक्सपेंसेस विच आर directly related to production are direct, and all which are not directly related to production are indirect. In simple words, you will have to understand this thing. I have defined it in all ways. Good. So other costs. Now this is an important point. What are the other costs? Interest and other borrowings cost. But these are not included in the cost of inventory. Let it be very much clear. This is not to be included. Interest and borrowing cost means I have taken loan. Like CC limits normally we have taken. Every businessman normally takes CC limit. Maximum business, I can't say every businessman. Maximum businessmen have taken CC limit, and this CC limit is based on inventory. Do you know why inventory is so important? Valuation of inventory is also important because a businessman may avail cash credit limit on the basis of stock. If you have stock worth rupees 60 lakh with you in routine, then normally bank gives you a limit of 45 lakhs. CC limit of 45 lakhs. Means if you are able to prove that I have normally stock worth rupees 60 lakh in my godown or in my showroom or in my factory available with me, then bank will give you a loan of 45 lakh rupees on that. This is called cash credit limit. Why it is called cash credit limit? Because in this case, whatever amount you will use, you will have to pay interest on only that amount, not on the other amount. So this is an additional knowledge for you, practical knowledge for you. But one thing is very important: whatever interest you are paying on this will not be included as a part of your cost of goods. This will not be treated as a direct expense, it will be treated as an indirect expense. So direct expenses are added while calculating cost of inventory, or we can say these will be shown in trading account, manufacturing and trading account. I can say manufacturing and trading account. So normally it is shown in manufacturing account. In final accounts, when we will do that, because maybe that has not been done by you, that will be a sixth chapter, maybe sixth or seventh chapter, no? Fourth, fifth, sixth I will cover, third, fourth, fifth I will cover. So it will be sixth chapter maybe. So in that you will see it as a direct expense, and indirect expenses will go to P&L account. So this will be assumed as an indirect expense. It is required to carry inventory for a long period. That is wine, rice, timber. It may be appropriate to consider interest and other borrowing cost as a cost of inventory. So it will be included only in case of rice, timber, wine, means where inventory is to be when production is to be made by way of keeping those goods in reserve for for a long period. I would like to take an example for here. एग्जाम्पल क्या हो सकती है, मैं आपको बता देता हूँ इसमें, कि जैसे वाइन को बनाया जाता है, वाइन को कैसे बनाते हैं, चलो वाइन की बात करते हैं. When wine is manufactured, then grapes or many other such like items are kept beneath the land by creating reservoirs beneath the land. जमीन के नीचे reservoirs create किए जाते हैं. उन reservoir में से ग्रेप्स या और जितना भी फ्रूट्स वगैरह जिनकी वाइन बनानी है या और भी जो चीजों की बनानी है उसमें डाल दिया जाता है, डाल के उसको रिजर्व में रखा जाता है और काफी लंबे पीरियड तक रिजर्व में रखा जाता है, मान लो कई महीनों तक, ताकि वो सड़ जाए, सड़ने के बाद उसमें से कीड़े पैदा हो जाए और वो जो उसमें कीड़े पैदा हो रहे हैं वो कीड़े उसको वाइन के रूप में कन्वर्ट कर दें. दिस इज अ नेचुरल प्रोसेस ऑफ क्रिएटिंग वाइन. मतलब ये कोई अच्छी चीज नहीं है पीना, तो इसीलिए कभी पीनी नहीं चाहिए. दैट इज माय सजेशन, बाकी आपकी मर्जी है. तो ये कोई बनाने का प्रोसेस भी ऐसा ही है. देखो रिजर्वायर में जमीन के नीचे इसको रखा जाएगा, काफी देर तक ये सड़ जाएंगे, गल जाएंगे, उसमें से फिर वो जो शराब निकलती है उस शराब को पिलाया जाता है. ठीक है ना, ये वाइन का ये नेचर है, वाइन इसी तरह बनती है. देन टिम्बर की बात करें तो व्हाट हैपेंड इन केस ऑफ टिम्बर. इन केस ऑफ टिम्बर ट्रीज आर कटेड and that particular wood is kept for a long period, for 6 months or 1 year in directly in sun, so that water must be they must be dried. We must have to dry them so that they can be sold out, because no one is interested to get it wet. तो जब हम लोग ट्री को काटते हैं ना, तो ये जो लकड़ होती है, वुड होती है, ये गीली होती है, तो इसको सुखाया जाता है, कई महीनों तक इसको सूरज की रोशनी में डायरेक्ट रखा जाता है, तो उससे इसमें से पानी का जो कंटेंट है वो उड़ जाता है, तो उसके बाद इसको सेल किया जाता है, बिकॉज अदरवाइज कोई इसको वेट परचेज नहीं करता, ना ही कोई लगाता है. तो इसीलिए उसके प्रोसेस का पार्ट है ये कि इसको रखना ही पड़ेगा. ये प्रोडक्शन का पार्ट हो गया एक तरह से, कि प्रोडक्शन का एक ये प्रोसेस है प्रोडक्शन करने के लिए. तो इसलिए इस केस में इंटरेस्ट या बोरिंग कॉस्ट को इंक्लूड किया जाएगा, अदरवाइज नहीं किया जाएगा. आई थिंक दिस इज क्लियर इन इंग्लिश एज वेल एज इन हिंदी बोथ. In book it is written the interest and borrowing cost also part of cost, because beta whatever I have written that is 100% correct. You need not to compare it with any other book. Okay, मैं आपको कुछ भी गलत नहीं करवाऊंगा. You need not to worry. So interest and borrowing cost will become part of your cost of inventory. Okay, I will show it in your module also, there is no problem. But it will become it will not be included in as a cost of inventory, but in case it is used for the purpose of special businesses like wine, rice, timber, etc., it will be added as a cost of inventory. In that case it will be included. Okay beta, need not to worry. आप लोगों को ये नहीं सोचने की जरूरत कि मैं गलत करवा रहा हूँ कोई सही. अगर मेरे पे शक करोगे तो कुछ नहीं कर पाओगे. ठीक है, मुझे 25 साल हो गए इसी को पढ़ाते हुए, भूलने वाली कोई बात नहीं है, मैं भूलता नहीं हूँ. ठीक है, भगवान की कृपा है, ग्रेस ऑफ गॉड इज देयर. So some special exclusions while calculating cost of inventory. One is abnormal wastage of material, means normal wastage of material is not to be excluded, but if there is a abnormal wastage, abnormal loss is there. Abnormal loss means for there is a fire, there is a theft, and within that fire or theft, we have lost our material, or our labor is sitting idle. We know it very well that they are sitting idle, or that is they are intentionally sitting idle. Then in that case, whatever expenses are incurred on those will not be included in the cost of inventory. Storage cost, unless those costs are necessary in the production process prior to further production stage. General expenses of storage will not be included as a cost of production. Means in routine, if you are purchasing goods and keeping that somewhere in godown, then godown rent is not a part of your cost of purchase. It will not be included as a cost of goods, but in that case, it will be an indirect expense. Let it be very much clear. These expenses will be taken, but it will be taken as indirect expense. But in case it is to be kept for 1 month or 6 months as a part of production, like in case of wine, I have discussed with you, like in case of, means there's a compulsion that this raw material must be kept as a result for a particular period. Only then it can be gone for the process of production. Only in that case, it will be added in the cost, otherwise not. Administrative overhead never become part of the cost of goods. What is administrative overhead? What is administrative overhead? Administrative overhead means administrative expenses like manager salary, like clerk salary, like executive salary, accountant salary. They will not become part of the, means any expenses incurred in office or head office will not become part of that. Means any expense which is not contributing to bring the goods to their present situation, present location and condition, are not to be included. Selling and distribution expenses will also not be included. Okay, so these must be kept memorized by you. Uncertainty of event, very good. Okay. Administrative expenses will not be included as a cost of goods. It will be an indirect expense. Go to P&L account. Okay. Now, चलो कोस्ट के बारे में डिस्कस हो गया, दोबारा से देखते हैं एक बार. देखो, ये देखो, हम लोगों ने कोस्ट निकालनी थी. सबसे पहले कोस्ट में हमने क्या करा, हमने कोस्ट में कोस्ट ऑफ परचेज को लिया कि गुड्स को परचेज करने का जो भी खर्चा है प्लस उसको कन्वर्ट करने का, गुड्स को कन्वर्ट करने का, फिनिश गुड्स में कन्वर्ट करने का जो भी खर्चा है. उसके बाद जो भी उसकी अदर कॉस्ट है वो कुछ केसेस में हमने लेनी है, इंटरेस्ट एंड बोरोइंग कॉस्ट, अदरवाइज नहीं लेनी. तो 3 ही थी, ज्यादा नहीं था चक्कर कुछ. कॉस्ट ऑफ परचेज और कन्वर्जन कॉस्ट, ये दोनों को ऐड कर लेंगे तो आपका टोटल कॉस्ट ऑफ गुड्स आ जाएगा. ठीक है. उसके बाद इसमें से ये चीजें नहीं लेनी, ये मैंने बता दिया. अब नॉर्मल गुड्स नहीं लेनी और वो गुड्स नहीं, वो खर्चे नहीं लेने जो खर्चे उसके हमने एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन के किए हैं, या फिर जो उसको जरूरी नहीं है उसको उस कंडीशन में पहुंचाने के लिए, मतलब फिनिश्ड गुड्स की कंडीशन में पहुंचाने के लिए सेलिंग का खर्चा नहीं लेना. तो कॉस्ट आ गई आपकी. कॉस्ट के बाद आ जाता है सेकंड पॉइंट, एनआरवी. व्हाट इज नेट रियलाइजेबल वैल्यू? नेट रियलाइजेबल वैल्यू मींस फॉर सेल प्राइस, एक्सपेक्टेड सेल प्राइस, वट एवर वी आर एज्यूमिंग कि इसकी सेल प्राइस ये हो सकती है, बिकॉज वी हैव नॉट सोल्ड इट येट. वी आर एक्सपेक्टिंग दैट दीज गुड्स विल बी सोल्ड फॉर रुपीज 15 lakhs. So this is what expected selling price, estimated selling price when it will be finished. When it will be finished, obviously, मतलब whenever it will be sold, जब भी ये बिकेगी तो इतने की बिकेगी. Estimated selling price. You will have to reduce whatever expenses to be incurred to sell those goods. Expenses yet to be incurred to sell. Just assume yet it needs 2 lakh rupees to come for the purpose of completion of those goods. It is not yet finished, it is in work in progress, or it is, this is properly for the purpose of work in progress or finished goods, not for the purpose of raw material, because raw material is normally not yet to be completed, है ना. So there are 3 types of stock with us now. We are calling raw material, work in progress, finished goods. One is more, that is stores. So When finished goods, we are saying that these are to be valued at sale price, estimated sale price minus estimated selling expenses. When work in progress is to be valued, we will take NRV as selling price when it will be sold minus estimated cost of completion minus estimated selling expenses. Then when we are calculating for raw material, then estimated sale price of raw material as it is minus estimated selling expenses. When we will sell it, there may be some commission to be paid to some agent or any other expenses, like we have to send these goods, we have to incur some carriage on that. So like that, there may be such type of expenses. So stores are also to be valued in the same way. Stores or raw material, estimated selling price of raw material minus estimated selling expenses for selling those goods. These are to be deducted. Packing also comes in production. Exactly right, Ritu. Consignment चैप्टर आप जब करोगे सब कुछ समझ लग जाएगा. डोंट वरी, उसमें प्रोडक्शन कैलकुलेशन ऑफ इन्वेंट्री डिफरेंट रहता है. In case of consignment, calculation of inventory is somehow different, that you may better understand when you will do chapter consignment. So don't mix consignment here. That is not required at all. This is properly for the purpose of financial statement chapter number 6, which we are discussing, you know, because in chapter number 6 we need this calculation, but for consignment we doesn't need this. Work in progress, please explain. Let's understand. Sir, Ritu, you can get these formulas here. I am writing here, you may note it down. I doesn't know somewhere it is written or not. Okay. So what is work in progress? Like I have a work in progress means those goods which are not yet fully finished. This is not a raw material and this is not a finished good. This happens on 31st of March. Actually on 31st of March, what happened? I have raw material worth rupees 10 lakh with me because these goods are not yet started for production. These are yet purchased and kept with us. Now I have finished goods worth rupees 25 lakh with me, which are fully finished and ready for sale. Those are called finished goods. Now I have some goods which are in the process of production, which are partially processed, semi-processed, semi-finished. These are called work in progress. So how to value that we have discussed. We will calculate its raw material cost. We will add cost of conversion, whatever we have incurred till now. तो जो भी खर्चा हमने अब तक किया है उस पे वो तो हमने कैलकुलेट कर लिया. हाउ टू कैलकुलेट एनआरवी? फॉर दैट पर्पस व्हाट वी विल डू, for work in progress, what we will do, we will check the estimated selling price when it will be finished. Like I have seen that my 1000 units are in the process of production. These are not yet completed. And the estimated selling price of one unit is rupees 100. So that means for the value of these goods when it will be finished will be 1 lakh. But these are not fully finished. Yet it needs some more expenses to be incurred on it, some more time to be consumed on it. So during that period, I will incur when to convert it into finished goods, to convert into finished goods, we have to incur labor worth rupees 10,000 on it, that we have to calculate now. Plus we have to incur some more expenses like production expenses, other expenses like conversion cost, whatever it is, worth rupees 5,000 in it. So approximately 15,000 rupees will be incurred. Also, when we will sell it, then estimated selling expenses, we will have to pay commission of 5% to some person. So 5% commission is there. That is 5,000 rupees. We have to pay some carriage on it, or some other selling expenses are there. Selling expenses carriage, etc., whatever it is, 5,000 rupees we have to incur. So net worth, net value of those goods is 75,000. So this is the value of work in progress. Note it down. What is the what are the mean of raw material, work in progress, and finished goods? RM raw material, WIP work in progress, FG finished goods. I'll do a favor for you. I'll send these notes to you. That's a better option. I'll upload these. There's no worry. It will be helpful for you. Also, I'll show it. You may have your module also. So these things are given in your module. There's no problem. I'll show you PPT formula, formula PPT. There's no problem. Just note it down first, then I'll come to that. Everyone noted this? Sir, for writing foundation exam, blue or black pen used? Preferably blue pen is always good, but I doesn't know either there is any fast and furious rule for that. Basically, pencil is also used because in case of your MCQ exams, you will have to go for pencil and black ball pen. And for other exams where you have a writing exam, theory exam, means where you have to, where you can say that where MCQ is not going to come, proper exam is there. In that case, you can use blue pen. That is a better option. Send your handwritten notes. Now, these are not possible, beta. For this, you may better write it from the video. That will be better option. You may write it yourself because these are so much time is not available that we can write it. Okay. Black pen is mandatory for CA exams. Okay, sir, for accounts, blue and black both are allowed. Yes, yes, that is allowed. There's no problem, but it is up to your choice. है ना? There's no problem. चलो यहां तक हो गया सारा. ये कॉपी कर लो फॉर्मूला आप. Black pen is compulsory in case of those exams where you have MCQ based exam. Okay, but in case of general exam, you can go for blue pen. There's no problem, because in that case you have to write your name and other marks like name and roll number, etc. For that, black pen is mandatory. Okay, pencil is required for the purpose of marking it, all that. I think you have written the formulas. Have you written the formulas? Because someone was demanding for the formulas, so I have. This is simple. Raw material valuation will be, or store valuation will be estimated selling price of raw material minus estimated selling expenses. Work in progress, estimated selling price minus estimated cost of completion minus estimated selling expenses. And finished goods, selling price minus estimated selling price minus estimated selling expenses. Okay. So basis of inventory valuation is clear to everyone. Cost or NRV, whichever is less, will be taken in your books of accounts. First of all, you have to calculate the cost that we have discussed. How to calculate the cost? Cost means for purchase cost plus conversion cost plus other cost if taken. So thrice are to be added. You will get cost of purchase, you will get cost. NRV, you know it very well, that is estimated selling price minus estimated cost of completion, if it is to be checked, minus estimated sale price, selling expenses. That I have already discussed with you in detail. So you have to calculate these two, whichever is less will be taken in your books of accounts. Now, where it is taken, everyone knows it will be taken in the credit side of manufacturing, or trading account as per the case, and simultaneously it will be taken in current assets in balance sheet. Asset side, current assets under balance sheet. Sir, have a break. Sir, वीनू जी ब्रेक ले लेंगे. वीनू जी. Welcome back. So welcome back after the break. Now we are going to start with the problems in your bank reconciliation statement, as we have already committed that we should have to go for the problems of that. So let's start with the BRS problems. अभी उसकी start करते हैं problem बेटा. Bank reconciliation statement. Okay. So just I'm opening for you. Okay. Start with the problems. You may send your problems बेटा. मैं आपसे स्क्रीन शेयर कर लेता हूँ. Just a moment. Yeah. Just repeat last line of books of accounts before break. Beta, that was nothing. It was very simple regarding inventory. It was very simple that we have to take cost, whatever we have calculated in our previous discussion, and NRV, whichever is less. दोनों में से जो कम है ना, उसको आपने value के रूप में लेना है. And that is to be taken, where it is to be taken? It is to be taken in manufacturing and trading account credit side and balance sheet asset side. Balance sheet एसेट साइड. बैलेंस शीट में एसेट साइड में जाता है करंट एसेट के अंडर. वो हम लोग दोबारा भी डिस्कस कर लेंगे. यू नीड नॉट टू वरी. हेलो सर. हेलो 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 हेलो. ओके. सो इलस्ट्रेशन नंबर 6, पॉइंट नंबर 3 and 7. Point number 3 and 7. Before that, I would like to see this is bank column A, Phillips cash book. Show the debit balance. So this is balance as per cash book. Let it be very much clear. What we have to do, see the last points. We have to see, make appropriate adjustment in cash book. So we have to prepare adjusted cash book here. Point number 6, no entry has been made in the cash book for a trade subscription paid by banker. लिखने का तरीका है. This is just a way of writing, nothing else. It is very simple that we have made, bank has made a direct payment of a trade subscription. What is trade subscription? We have taken, just like you have fixed a journal with you that we have to pay regular 5 months 500 rupees and we will get journal of that. Or magazine, it's just like magazine. Trade subscription, what it is just like a magazine or such like thing for which we have to make 10,000 rupees payment, and that payment is instructed to bank that they have to make it. So they have already made the payment. Bank has made the payment in November. So we are preparing all this for 30th of December. So anything done before 30th of December is to be considered. So this entry is already made in bank, not by us. So if this is an error, in cash book, you will have to rectify it. So this is a payment. So it will reduce your balance. We will have to show it on the credit side of our adjusted cash book. So देखो adjusted cash book में credit side में उसने डाल दिया. Okay. Then 7th point, a check of rupees 27 drawn by B Philip. Who is B Philip? I doesn't know. I don't have any consideration of B Philip because I am A Philip. So whatever is done is with me in my current account, in my business account, we have to treat only that thing. So check drawn by someone else, charged to my account, means bank has made an error and wrongly deducted an amount from my account. So if bank has made an error, that cannot be entered in adjusted cash book because this is an error made by bank. This will be done in BRS And what is to be done in BRS? We have to reach the balance as per passbook from the balance as per cash book. So whatever is done by bank, we have to do the same. So this is an error made by the bank, wrong deduction is made by the bank. We will also do the same. So we will deduct it. Dekho, let's check wrongly charged. Even it is an error, but it is to be taken into consideration because this is BRS. This is not adjusted cash book. This was adjusted cash book. In this, we have to rectify all the errors made by us in our cash book. But whatever error is made in passbook, that will be entered in BRS. That's it. I think this is clear. Illustration number 6, point number 3. Yes, check of rupees 73,000 has been dishonored. Dishonored. A check has been sent to bank. So whenever we are sending the check to bank, what we are doing? We are adding that check into our cash book. But if check is dishonored, we should have to deduct it in our cash book. So bank has not added it. Bank is correct because check has been dishonored. So bank has not added it in our account. We have sent a check to bank. When we send check to bank, we are adding it in our account, in our debit side. But when it is dishonored, the entry is very simple. That is debtor account debit to bank. So this should be the entry which is to be passed, which is not passed by me yet. So I have to pass this entry by debtor, or I have to reduce my balance. That is 73,000. So see here it is. 73,000 is done by him by trade receivable or by debtors. You may write here debtor also, one and the same thing. Trade receivable is another name of debtors, beta. The table that explains the final balance once more. The table that explains the final balance. I have not prepared any table for you basically because I have gone for that table in my way. Don't see the way given in your ICA module because they have given it in a different way. I have given it in a different way, beta. तो मेरा suggestion रहेगा कि आप मेरे वाला करो. How can we know whether the check received and or issued dishonored? Okay, you should have to go for the thing that here you must have to see this thing. The query is whether this check was received or issued. He says check for rupees 75,3,000 has been dishonored prior to 30th of December. Let it be very much clear. Bank will intimate or in our bank only that check will be shown which has been issued by me, which has been received by me. So if such type of language will come to you, you should have to assume this trick only because यहाँ पर जितना BRS वाला your logic is right from practical point of view, but this doesn't happen here because these books are somehow fixed about 30 years back with the old concepts. So आपके लिए फायदे की बात है, मैंने भी यही पढ़ा था बेटा, आप भी यही पढ़ रहे हो, तो ये तो कुछ नहीं हो सकता इसका, ये तो रट्टा लगाने वाली बात है इसमें. ठीक है, आपका लॉजिक बिल्कुल सही है कि हमें पता कैसे लगेगा, बट पता लगाने की जरूरत नहीं है, हमेशा ऐसा ही होने वाला है. यू नीड नॉट टू वरी. ये जो क्वेश्चंस डालेंगे ना एग्जाम में, इसी में से उठा के डालेंगे, इसी तरह के पॉइंट डालेंगे बिकॉज हिंदुस्तान की सारी बुक्स में यही है. इन इंडिया ऑल बुक्स इंक्लूड दिस पॉइंट ओनली कि जब भी ये चेक डिसऑनर्ड होता है तो ये चेक कौन सा होता है, जो चेक रिसीव्ड है वही डिसऑनर्ड होता है. ओनली चेक रिसीव्ड डिसऑनर्ड के लिए ये लिखा जाता है. इशू डिसऑनर्ड का तो पॉइंट आज तक किसी बुक में आया ही नहीं है. सो यू नीड नॉट टू वरी बेटा. ठीक है, यही तो प्रॉब्लम है. सर एक बार समझा दीजिए कंसेप्ट इस चैप्टर का. बेटा फॉर दैट यू शुड हैव टू गो फॉर 3 lectures which we have already given. Previous 3 lectures are for BRS. Please go for those. Today my first class is chapter का concept समझा दीजिए. No sir, Abhinav, it is not possible. You may please go for my previous 3 lectures. Those are very good. You can understand it in detail because I can't review this chapter within 10 minutes or 15 minutes. I have given 6 hours to this chapter. Already I have given 6 hours to this chapter. So you may please go for those 6 hours lectures. We have to take check received dishonored. Exactly beta. So some students have asked more problems. In illustration number 8, a student was asking a problem. Confusing point is 5th and 4th. Come to illustration number 8. Point number 5 and 4. 4 and 5 means. So cash book of Mr. Gadbadwala. Name भी मजेदार है. 8,36,400. Balance at bank. Cash book. Obviously it is clear. It is balance as per cash book. But you find it doesn't agree with the balance as per passbook. So fourth point it says on what you have to do. See here it is whether we have to prepare BRS or we have to do all things. We have to prepare a reconciliation statement only. So you have to prepare BRS only. Here there is no requirement of adjusted cash book. So balance as per cash book is given to you. We have to find balance as per passbook. So whatever is done in passbook, do same. Point number 4, 18 December debit balance of 15,260 as on the previous day was brought forward as credit balance. Very good point. Very good point. So this is an error in our cash book. How it is clear? Because if it is a passbook error, he must have to write here that this error is made by bank. If he has not mentioned anything, this is an error made by us. Now tell me one thing, the debit balance means positive balance and brought forward as credit balance. In cash book, credit balance stands for negative balance. So you should have to add 15,260. You have to take this balance. But what we have done? We have done minus 15,260. So you to come back to this. What you have to do? आप लोगों को ना बचपन में सिखाया जाता है. You have given a detail in this was done somewhere. There is a minus 15,260. There is a plus 15,260. Then there are many things. Here it is 0. This way it is shown. So what is the difference between minus 15,250 and plus 15,250? There's a difference of 15,260 plus 15,260. If you have minus 10 or plus 10, what is the difference between these two? Minus 10 plus 20 is equal to plus 10. We know it all. If you have to make minus 10 as plus 10, how you will do? You will do plus 20 in minus 10, means you have to add double amount. In the same way, if you are interested to convert minus 15,260 into plus 15,260, you have to make double addition. Double addition means 15,260 plus 15,260. So you have to add 30,520. So add 30,520. That's it. So this is an error in cash book, but this error is not made in passbook. Then you have to reverse it. Reverse means you have to rectify it. So we have reversed it with rupees 30,520. Okay, my dear. Plus minus effect I have done. Okay. Now, of the total checks amounting to rupees 11,514 drawn in the last week, checks were encashed. We have to take only those checks which are not encashed. So he says 11,514 are the total checks issued by me. Drawn means issued by me. So I have issued this much amount of checks, but this much amounts of checks are encashed, means presented for payment. So the balance checks worth rupees, see it, how much it is, are not presented for payment. Not presented for payment. So what you have to do? You know it very well. Whatever is the difference, that will be taken into consideration. So we have deducted this. We have to add back to it because we have to do whatever is done in passbook. So this much amount of checks are not presented and deducted by bank. So you have to add it. How much is the amount? Dimple, if adjusted cash book is not given or not asked, you need not to prepare it anymore. Okay. You have to prepare adjusted cash book only and only if it is specifically demanded. Otherwise, BRS is to be prepared. Okay. So we have to add 3699. I think this is clear. I have no problem. Okay. Sir, illustration number 8. Okay. 546th point. Dividend 25,000 collected by the bank. So if dividend of rupees 25,000 is added by the bank in my account, we have to add it. So plus 25,000. Read it like this. Don't read complete line. Subscription of rupees 1,000 paid by it were not recorded in cash book. So minus 1,000 because subscription is always paid. So bank has made direct payment of rupees 1,000 and bank has added 25,000 into my account. So I will also add it. Clear हुआ ये? और पूछो, जितनी भी प्रॉब्लम है पूछ डालो, अब कोई घबराहट नहीं है, जितनी भी बीआरएस की प्रॉब्लम्स हैं पूछ लो, वट एवर द प्रॉब्लम्स इन बीआरएस डू इट. If BRS is completely clear, write your feedback. BRS is clear so that I can proceed. Okay. जिसको नहीं क्लियर हुआ वो प्रॉब्लम भेजो, जिसको क्लियर हो गया वो लिख के भेजो BRS is clear. फटाफट फास्ट. सर ऑल इलस्ट्रेशन इज कंपल्सरी. बेटा ये तो कुछ भी नहीं है. जो क्वेश्चन मैंने आपको बाद में भेजे वो भी कंपल्सरी है. मैंने आपको काफी सारे क्वेश्चन और भी भेजे हैं, 4 5 6 क्वेश्चन भेजे हैं कम से कम, वो भी कंपल्सरी है. उसके अलावा भी कहीं से क्वेश्चन मिलते हैं तो कर डालो. जितने ज्यादा क्वेश्चन करोगे उतनी ज्यादा प्रैक्टिस हो जाएगी, उतना ज्यादा बढ़िया रहेगा. बट कोई सॉल्व द क्वेश्चन विद योर हैंड, मींस इन रिटन फॉर्म, नॉट सी द सॉल्यूशन ओनली. आई हैव सेंड यू द सॉल्यूशन आल्सो so that it should be easy for you to understand. Have you done all the questions whatever I have sent it to you? Sir, all illustrations is important for exam. Yes, exactly. All illustrations, all practical questions, all MCQs or theory questions are important for your examination, because in this case all concepts will be clear to you. BRS is clear, but only few students have sent me BRS is clear, not all yet. So जिनको clear नहीं हुआ, please send your problems. If you have any problem in BRS, send it fast. Sir, illustration number 7, third point. Okay. Illustration number 7. Point number 3rd. Prepare a BRS. So you have demanded BRS only. You have not demanded adjusted cash book in this case as on 31st of December. So the important thing is first what you have to prepare in BRS. What is the important thing? Note it down with you. First of all, check what is to be prepared, whether adjusted cash book or BRS. क्या बनाना है पहले तो ये देखना है आपने. Must see it first and then see the date. On which date you have to prepare it. Date, which is very important. Third thing is you have to check what is the balance given to you, whether balance as per cash book is given to you or passbook is given to you. So 3 things are important before starting the question. And then read the question and do it simultaneously. Don't read the complete question and then check what is to be prepared, because it will waste your time. We will get question of normally 10 marks in the exam, and even in number of cases only 5 marks question is there in the exam. So why to waste more time on your exam? Because you know it very well, we have only 180 minutes in the exam. How much minutes are there? 180 minutes. For how much marks? 100 marks. So that means for we have to keep some minutes in reserve also. Assume we have to keep 20 minutes for rechecking of your paper. So we have only 160 minutes for 100 marks paper. So you can say we have 1.6 minute per mark. Or we can say for 5 marks question, we have 5 into 1.6, that is 8 minutes. For 10 marks question, we have 10 into 1.6, 16 minutes. For 20 marks question, I have 32 minutes. For 5 marks question, I have 8 minutes. For 10 marks question, I should have to solve it within 16 minutes. For 20 marks question, I should have to solve it within 32 minutes. So this is the maximum time available with us to complete the paper, because the issue is, if you are interested to clear CA foundation, you have only 400 marks paper, out of which you need 200 marks. Remaining paper are maximum theory based. So in accounting, you will not have to take 50 marks. You will have to take 90 or more marks to get good marks in your examination, or 80 or more marks to clear CA foundation, because CA foundation can be cleared by getting more and more marks in accounting, because total can be made by this only. Remaining papers are normally math stat paper is normally going for 45, 50 marks or 40 marks even, because number of stones are just clearing it in just last percentage. And law is also theory based. And then your third paper, that is math stat, law, and another paper is math stat हो गया, law हो गया, आपका accounts हो गया. एंड फोर्थ पेपर इज आपका कौन सा भाई? फोर्थ पेपर आपका है, आई हैव ऑलरेडी सेंड यू क्वेश्चंस ना, उसके लिए तो मैंने आपको भेज दिया है. तो आपको बाकी जो पेपर हैं तीन, उन तीन पेपर्स में इतने मार्क्स नहीं मिलने वाले, आपको अकाउंट्स में से ही ज्यादा मार्क्स मिलने हैं. तो अच्छे मार्क्स भी इसी से बनेंगे और पास भी इसी से होने वाले हो आप. इकोनॉमिक्स, यस, दैट इज आल्सो थ्योरी बेस्ड. number of times student is able to get only 40 42 marks in that paper, so those paper may reduce your marks, but accounts will increase your marks. So let's understand this thing. इसके बिना आप लोगों को क्लियर होने का चांस कम हो जाता है. तो try to get more and more marks in accounting. And the point asked by a student is illustration number 7, point number 3rd. Check issued before 31st December but not presented for payment. This is a simple point. We all know that when check is issued but not presented for payment, so here overdraft as per cash book is given to you, so we have to take this balance in negative. In that case, check issued but not yet presented for payment will be added. That's it. दिसंबर का 2022 का क्वेश्चन सॉल्व करो. Swati, I have already sent you solved questions. I think that is more better. If you have any doubt in that, I may clear you. I have already sent this question to you. December 2022. This question is not available with me, beta. If you have this question, then you may ask a query by sending it on WhatsApp. On this, you may send me the point which is not clear to you, because I don't have a December 2022 question available with me, beta. You may send me that question. I may solve it for you. In study material solution, there is difference, add less shown. That's why we are confused little. No problem, beta. Illustration number 8, point number 7. Good. Illustration number 8, point number 7. Check of rupees. This is already made clear, beta, ki this check is not belongs to me. This check doesn't belongs to me. This check is issued by someone else. So I don't know who has issued this. Why? Because this is not me. Someone else have issued a check to someone else. But bank has wrongly deducted this amount from my account. Bank has to deduct this amount from B Phillips account. Who is B Philip? I don't know him. I am only considering about A Phillips bank account. So bank has wrongly deducted amount from my account, which is purely wrong. But even then, whatever is done by bank, we have to do the same. So bank has deducted it, we will also deduct it. Sir, past year question paper कौन से year के solve करने? I have sent you all the questions. You may download it from your, you may see it from your app. Sorry, but in books it's minus, it's in plus. There may be a chance that balance is something else. Don't worry, I would like to check it. Wait. Books. Ritu Tiwari. Ritu, maybe you are asking about point number. You are talking about illustration number 6. Okay. So this is clear now. Good. It's illustration number 6. Illustration number 7, point number 6. So that may be due to overdraft, beta. You may see that there may be some overdraft in that case. So I would like to take this illustration number 7, point number 6. Illustration number 7. In illustration number 6, this was taken negative. You are talking about. So here it is an overdraft, no beta? Debit balance. Okay. Now you may give me some more example detail so that I can help you. Isha Pandit. Okay, I will see. Just a moment. Illustration number 7 देख लो पहले बेटा, because time is lacking. I would like to clear it. From the following information, prepare a BRS as on 31st of December. Okay, so you have to prepare BRS. It's very simple. Bill for collection credited by the bank. This is simple. We have sent a BR to the bank for collection. Bank has collected it. Means this is just a simple thing that amount has been added by bank into my account as bank has received this amount. So this is also a chapter bills of exchange which you will do in later stage because this is a part of your syllabus. In that what happened, we sent to the bank just like check, there is a bills of exchange. So we have sent that check to the bank for collection. Bank has collected that amount from the debtor and added it into my account. So bank has added it. We will have to add because whatever is done by bank, we have to do the same. But the issue is here the balance is in negative. So the effect will be reverse automatically. You may see that the balance is in negative. Here it is an overdraft balance, beta. Isha Pandit, please send your query once again. I would like to give the answer. Sir, 5th point of 8th point, please, sir, explain. Ayasha Sood. Okay. मैं टर्न बाय टर्न वैसे तो क्वेरी ले रहा हूं, बीच में से कोई मिस हो जाए ना तो घबराना नहीं है, मुझे दोबारा बता देना। आपके पॉइंट सारे मैं क्लियर करके जाऊंगा, ऐसे नहीं खत्म करेंगे आज लेक्चर। या ये मैंने एक्सप्लेन किया था, दोबारा बता देता हूं। 5th पॉइंट इसमें सिंपल है कि आउट ऑफ 11 ऑन 514 ये तो चेक प्रेजेंट हो गए, बाकी प्रेजेंट नहीं हुए, तो हमें तो वो लेने होते हैं ना जो प्रेजेंट नहीं हुए। देखो ना हुआ क्या कि कैश बुक, पासबुक, एडजस्टमेंट ये हमने सीखा था, है ना। तो कैश बुक में क्या हुआ कि हम लोगों ने माइनस कर दिया 11 ऑन 514 जो हमने चेक इशू करे। बैंक ने माइनस किया 7815 क्योंकि बैंक के पास यही चेक इन कैश होने के लिए गए। बाकी जो डिफरेंस रह गया वो किसका रह गया, इन दोनों में जो डिफरेंस है वो है 3699, वो मैंने कैश बुक में ज्यादा माइनस किया हुआ है। तो अगर मैंने ज्यादा माइनस किया है तो मुझे तो वही करना है जो बैंक ने किया है, तो मैं इसको पासबुक के हिसाब से प्लस कर दूंगा 3699 को, ताकि रिवर्स हो जाए। बिकॉज वट एवर इज डन इन पासबुक डू सेम, बैंक ने तो कुछ नहीं किया ना इसका, तो मैं इसको एड बैक कर दूंगा। प्रैक्टिस क्वेश्चन 2 पॉइंट नंबर 5 अंडरकास्ट। सर होल BRS illustrations are clear. Thank you, dear sir, for solving my query. No problem, बेटा। Practice question number 2, point number 5। ये अच्छा पॉइंट है, ये सभी को देखना चाहिए। जो ये बच्चे ने पूछा है अंडरकास्ट वाला, ये मुझे पता है क्लियर हो गया होगा कईयों को, बट इवन देन हमें दोबारा से देख लेना चाहिए, अच्छा रहेगा। Practical question number 2, point number 5. See, here it is. So this is a cash book balance 44,50,000, and point number 5th is there. The payment side of the cash book has been undercasted, already done in our previous lecture also. I am just reviewing it. He says payment side of the cash book undercast. Whenever payment side is undercasted, that means for we have to deduct 1 lakh. Just assume my total should be 1 lakh, but I have taken it as 95,000 of payment side. Payment side means for negative side where deductions are made. So we have to deduct 1 lakh. Assume कर रहे हो आप, एक एग्जांपल है कि आपको 1 लाख डिडक्ट करना था, उसके बदले में 95,000 डिडक्ट कर दिया, तो ठीक कैसे करोगे, 5,000 और डिडक्ट कर दोगे, यही करोगे ना, इससे ठीक हो जाएगा। यही वो कह रहा है कि पेमेंट साइड आपकी जो कैश बुक की वो अंडरकास्ट कर गई है, तो आपने कम माइनस किया है, तो कम माइनस किया तो और माइनस कर दो। अगर रिसीट साइड अंडरकास्ट करती तो कम प्लस किया होता तो फिर और प्लस कर देते, ठीक है ना। तो यहां पर बनाना क्या है आपने, एडजस्टेड कैश बुक है, तो ये कैश बुक है तो फिर तो ठीक है, एडजस्टेड कैश बुक में -5,000 आप कर दो। मैंने ये पूरी की पूरी इलस्ट्रेशन आपको पिछले लेक्चर में करवाई हुई है, आप प्लीज मेरी वीडियो भी देख लेना, उससे आपको और फायदा हो जाएगा। If adjusted cash book not asked in the question, do we have to do it? No, never do it. only do BRS in that case, because if he has not demanded adjusted cash book, you have not to prepare it. You have to go for BRS only. These are two different methods. One is when BRS is demanded, then the concept is completely different. Second is when adjusted cash book and BRS is demanded, then the concept is different. Both are different type of questions. Don't merge them with each other. इनको आपस में इकट्ठे नहीं करना. Clear है? I think everything is clear. Thanks for the patience hearing. Whatever is your feedback. बेटा प्रॉब्लम आ रही है तो उसका सिंपल सॉल्यूशन है, जो मैंने ये एग्जांपल लिए इसको समझो कि देखो 1 लाख के बदले में नहीं, एग्जांपल इस तरह से ले लिया करो अपने आप भी समझने के लिए. अगर वो कह रहा है 10,000 रुपीज अंडरकास्ट कर गया है, तो आप ये मान लो कि 1 लाख करना था तो मैंने 90,000 कर दिया है, तो अब ठीक कैसे करेंगे, 10 और कर देते हैं माइनस. अगर ओवरकास्ट है तो वो कहेगा कि मान लो 10,000 से ओवरकास्ट कर गया है, तो इसका मतलब हो गया आपने माइनस करना था 1 लाख, बट आपने कर दिया माइनस 1,10,000. तो ठीक कैसे करोगे, प्लस कर दो 10,000 तो ठीक हो जाएगा. बस इतना ही करना है. ठीक है, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं, घबराने की कोई बात नहीं, हो जाएगा. वो डर लगता होता है एग्जाम में जाने से पहले, डर लगता है ना, वो वाला डर है, तो वो प्रैक्टिस से क्लियर हो जाएगा. ठीक है, तो अपना अपना फीडबैक भेज देना. थैंक यू वेरी मच. ओके देन सर, क्लोज योर सेशन.